The next topic that we are going to do is very interesting because it takes us back into the history of management. If you look back around 30 to 40 years and you talk to your grandparents, they wouldn't call management as a proper field of study. Engineering and medicine were given more importance, and management was always brushed aside as something which was trivial or something that didn't require specialized field of study or a code of conduct. But today, as we know, management is known to be art, a science, as well as a profession. So we're going to first begin with management as an art. Now, when we look at a field of art, let's say poetry or painting, there are certain features that are included in art. Let's see if they're also included in management. The first one says existence of theoretical knowledge. Now, when we look at um, dance or painting, there is certain existence of theoretical knowledge which is required to cultivate that form of art. Is that existing in management as well? Yes. So let's put a tick on that. Second, personalized application. Now we know of musicians and poets who come up with their own personalized applications of theoretical knowledge that they may have learned. Now, can that be applied in management as well? Yes, very much. We know that managers, when they start working, they use their study and their knowledge in different ways. They apply it in different ways. The third one is management as an art is based on practice and creativity. Now, is that true for art? Yes, we know that being an artist requires you to practice your art, to sharpen your art on a daily basis. And is that true for management as well? Yes, we can say that. Management gets better when you practice it on a regular basis. Next, we look at management as a science. Now, if we take any concept of science, let's say gravity, there are certain features that it must fulfill. Let's look at the first one, systematized body of knowledge. Does gravity have a systematized body of knowledge? Yes. Is that true also for management? Yes, very much. Today, we have very specialized courses, especially the MBA and management studies, which ensure that there is a systematized body of knowledge. Second, principles are based on experimentation. Now, gravity is something that I can experiment with. I can throw a ball up in the air and watch it fall down and say, yes, that happened, that is true. Can I say the same thing for my management principles? Yes. Third is universal validity. Now, I know that gravity is applicable everywhere except for outer space. But in the context of Earth, if I were to check its universal validity, would I be able to? Yes, very much. Same is the case with management principles. They are valid everywhere, whichever country you go to. Okay. The third one is management as a profession. Let's take, for example, the profession of lawyers. There are certain characteristics it must fulfill. Let's see if that holds true also for management. So the first one is well-defined body of knowledge. Now, lawyers do have well-defined body of knowledge. Is that same also true for management? Yes, that's very much true. We have IIMs, we have MBA institutes which provide that well-defined body of knowledge. Second is restricted entry. Now we know that if a candidate wants to become a lawyer, he needs to pass certain exams. But is that also true for management? No, that is not true for management because management does not require you to have any kind of special expertise. There are managers who have over the years learned a lot on the job, and so through experimentation and through regular practice, they are good managers. Okay, so restricted entry is not the case for management. Third, professional association. Now we know that lawyers need to be registered with the Bar Council of India. Is that also true for management? Yes, we know that there are institutes like All India Management Association. If you want to be part of that, okay, but it is not mandatory. There is no compulsion on managers to be part of that professional association. Fourth is ethical code of conduct. We know that the lawyers need to be very ethical in their working. Is that true for management also? Yes, that is very much true. Profit maximization is crucial, but ethics are also important. The last is service motive. The basic service motive of lawyers is to get justice for the clients. But is this also true for management? What is their main objective? Their main objective is to achieve the organizational objective in a fast changing world. The next topic is levels of management. As you can see, there are three levels of management: top level, middle level, and supervisory or operational level management. Now, when we talk about the top level management, it comprises of the CEO, the president, the vice president, the CFO, and these are the people who are senior most executives, and they are the ones who take the big decisions of steering the organization in the way it's supposed to be in. So they are the ones who ensure the survival of the organization and the welfare of the organization. The second is middle level management. They include the division heads, the operational managers, or plant superintendent. These are the managers who are responsible for implementing and controlling the plans and strategies developed by the top management. So what they usually do is they, number one, interpret the policies framed by top management. They ensure that their department has the necessary personnel. Third, they assign necessary duties and responsibilities. Fourth, they motivate them to achieve desired objectives. And five, they cooperate with other departments for smooth functioning of the organization. And at the same time, they're also responsible for all the activities of first line managers. The third level is the supervisory or operational management. They are the lower level management, which is absolutely at the bottom in the hierarchy of the organization. Supervisors directly oversee the efforts of the workforce. Their authority and responsibility is limited according to the plans drawn by the top management. So supervisory management plays a very important role in the organization, since they interact with the actual workforce and they pass on instructions to the workers. And through their efforts, the quality of the output is maintained, wastage of the material is minimized, safety standards are maintained. The quality of workmanship and the quantity of output depends on the hard work, discipline, and loyalty of the workers. The next topic is functions of management, and we can also say that this is a process of management. That if you want to manage anything, these are certain five things you need to keep in mind. Please remember, a process needs to have a certain sequence, so they are not interchangeable. The first one is planning, second is organizing, third is staffing, fourth is directing, and fifth is controlling. Now, to understand these five sequential steps in the process of management or the functions of management, let's take the example of setting up your own business. And when you want to set up your own business and you want to set up the management of that business, you need to follow these five steps. Now, I want to set up a bakery, and for that, I need to follow these five steps. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the planning function. And what does this planning function mean? It means deciding in advance what is to be done and who is to do it. They say that if you don't know where you're going, you will never arrive, which is true. So planning is connecting where you are today and where you want to be in the future right now. So you decide in advance how you want to go about achieving your organizational objectives. The second is organizing. Now, I have decided and planned a certain objectives or end goals which I want to achieve. So the second thing is to assign the duties and group the tasks, establish authority, and allocating resources required to carry out my specific plan. Now, plans in themselves don't achieve very much, right? They need to be applied, they need to be executed. So for that, I use organizing, and organizing means deciding and determining a framework in which I'm going to fit different individuals. I'm going to establish relationships between different departments. And how do average companies do that? They work on creating structures. So if there is going to be a CEO at the top, when you come down, there's going to be different departments. There's going to be production, there's going to be HR, there's going to be marketing, there's going to be finance, and so on and so forth. Each department is going to have their own divisions. So organizing in a nutshell is creating a framework. The third step is staffing. Since I've already created a framework, I'm going to put the right people at the right time at the right job. So Staffing is simply putting the right qualified people in their respective places, right? And this is done usually by the human resource department, and this involves recruiting the correct people, selecting them, placing them, training them. And the next one is directing. Once you have staffed the correct people, they have started working, you need to direct them. They need to know what to do next. So directing in short means leading, influencing, motivating, communicating with employees, keeping them engaged in their day-to-day work, making sure that they are coming to work on time, they're doing their work correctly, correcting them wherever they go wrong, and praising them for their good efforts, recognizing them, avoiding them, and also, like I said, correcting them if they go wrong somewhere. The last one is controlling, that in case there is any major problem in the attainment of the organizational objective. Let's say my target output was supposed to be 200 units for the month, but my employees have only produced 150 units. There is a lag of 50 units, and I must know why there is this lag, why is there a 50 units gap there. So for this, I need to take controlling measures, which means I need to establish standards, and I need to measure the performance, and then I need to compare this performance with the established standards. So like in this example, my established standards was 200 units. My actual performance or current performance was 150 units. So my deviation was a 50 unit, my gap was 50 units. So now for these 50 units, I need to be able to take corrective actions. Those corrective actions are taken in the controlling step. The last topic of the chapter is coordination, the essence of management. To go back to the example we took in the beginning, was that you're standing in the long queue, and let's say that you find out later that the reason why there was a delay or there was a long queue was because the software in that particular cash counter wasn't working properly. And the reason you found out was because the IT department did not do its job on time. Now, when we talk about coordination, we say that management in itself cannot achieve anything if everybody in the organization is not coordinated. Coordinated means to come together in unity in achieving the final objectives, the organizational objectives. Now, it's very difficult if the top level manager has done his job, but the middle level manager has not done the job. Is there a possibility to achieve the organizational objectives in this case? No, not at all. That's why we say that coordination is the essence of management, and without it, every other function or every other task that employees do is going to be a big failure. It is also considered sometimes as a separate function of management apart from the 5 functions of management. And in short, you need to remember that it begins at the planning stage and it needs to go on for the entire organization. Everybody needs to be orderly arranged as individual and as a group to ensure the unity of action in the realization of the common objective.